car charger.
So this new one is a what?
It's a ECM Technica 6.
Okay.
Isn't that the one that you wanted, one that you dreamed about when you first became a doc?
It's not there was one that I was wanting, but it was like I ended up it was a Spanish machine. This is a German one, and it had too many, like it had an app and like all this fancy stuff.
Yeah.
This one is just valves and switches and no electronics. It's very classic.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. It has a flow control valve at the top, but you can manually adjust everything. You can plumb it in. It's got a dual boiler, so you can pull in steam. And
to pull a shot, what are you doing? Are you pressing? Are you twisting? Are you? I mean,
to get the water flowing.
Yeah,
it has a really nice mechanical valve that you open up with a full metal lever.
This sounds legit.
Yeah,
I don't want to know how much it costs.
And you can literally do your makeup on the side of it and everything. It's so shiny. You can see it.
And you're going to polish it every day for the rest of your fucking life.
It's one of my new hobbies. is polishing my machine, yeah. It's awesome.
Okay, that sounds pretty impressive.
Had 2 double shots before the morning ride today.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it really changes the game when you can get that much caffeine in that quick.
Yeah. Did you work today?
I did, yeah.
No, you just did the morning ride before.
Yeah.
Did you have another double shot before you went to work?
I did, but I added milk and made a cappuccino.
A real one.
A real cappuccino, yes.
Oh my God.
It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits in the kitchen, so I don't have to like go confine
Downstairs,
myself to the basement to make a coffee.
Okay. Well, you do know that should you want to part ways with that machine.
The commercial one?
Yeah.
You want to put it here?
Yeah.
Did you realize how big it is? Where are you going to put it?
That wall's going back about 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches.
This might be the spot.
I'm putting a bar on top of it.
This might be the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking for a home.
And I want to run water over the doorway there. Wastewater, I was just going to do an old school espresso bar kind of thing. And
5 gallon bucket?
Yeah, just run it into a bucket.
That's what I do. It gets really moldy, but it's probably fine.
Well, that's why you dump it out.
Penicillin then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I never get sick.
That's the doctor's orders. Just have a gigantic cesspool of rotting coffee water in your basement.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay, here we go, everybody. The Vuelta is climbing through the furnace-like heat where pros trade their skin for a podium seat. We're back on the mics to complain about age and rant about the climate that ignites all of our rage. Welcome to episode 540. I still pause every time I say how many freaking episodes it's been of the longest-standing podcast in the sport of cycling. Think of us as a post-ride beer with several friends and one asshole. This is the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. We are now a fully operational space station. That's right. Get that line? Paul gets that line. Fully operational space station.
Space station.
It's going to blow up. No.
It's just a guess.
To say Star Trek, it's a Star Wars effort. So you pissed off so many nerds right there.
Well, womp womp.
They're going to slap you. Hey, asshole.
Yeah.
Now stay away from my Vespa. Anyway, Packfiller Cycles is fully launched, marking the shift from traditional brick and mortar bike shop. Van Rysel is our flagship brand, and we are now actively taking orders to design, build, and hand deliver your World Tour killing bicycle. Oh, and we mentioned that Van Rysel now has a brand new gravel model. If you haven't seen that, Karsten knew about it last week, but he couldn't say anything.
Oh.
Goddamn corporation stuff. You know, right? Be sure to head over to packfiller.com today, click on the link, surf the models, and get started here. So let's see who's here tonight. All great cycling events. Our show starts just like them with a prologue question. The prologue is brought to us by our friends at Athletic Brewing. You know them, but have you tried them? Next best thing to a post-ride beer is a post-ride beer without weight gain or potential hangover. Athletic has the flavor out of the consequences. Gentlemen, tonight's question. If you were held for ransom, and the only way to get released was to deliver an impromptu, perfectly structured 45-minute TED Talk on a completely non-work, non-cycling topic with zero prep. Okay? They're telling you that if you don't go out on this stage right now and perform a 45-minute TED Talk without any prep, it can't be about work and it can't be about cycling. What are you going to lecture on to save your life? And it has to be engaging. It's a TED Talk. All right. So in other words, what are you going to do to save your ass? I'm filling in time because Paul's giving me a blank stare. Got it already?
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. He is the course master when it comes to crit planning. He is indeed, and he's going to save cycling in the city of Spokane. Mr. Paul Main.
Yeah, right.
Well, how are you, dude?
Good.
I am sounding nasally.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's a seasonal thing.
No, what I think is you're stressing out because you go back to work. Yeah.
Fuck's sake, I should quit.
No, you're going to call in sick.
Oh.
Yeah. First day, give it to a sub.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be brutal.
Yeah, no subplanes. Just handle it, dude.
Show him my syllabus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, there we go. Paul, what are you going to do a 45-minute TED Talk on about campy bikes?
Probably
campy work?
discuss the difference between quantum mechanics and quantum physics.
Really?
It's
That's impressive.
I don't know anything, but I constantly go down a rabbit hole when I see anything on YouTube, and I just try and figure it out.
Wow.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
But
I
it's the only one whose mental needle came off the record right there.
No, I mean, I think it's fascinating stuff. I don't know. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I admittedly spent a lot of time
on that
with physics that was what I was going to do if I didn't do medicine was physics. Major. Yeah,
it is totally blows your mind away.
It does. Yeah,
The fourth dimension. It was like the latest thing.
This goes to show you can keep learning as you grow up. Golly.
I don't retain anything, but it's just like I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, but you get to enjoy it over and over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same 4 videos.
Yeah. I love it.
That is
Everything's in waves, man.
Everything
is wave. It's wave. Everybody thinks this is solid. Nope, it's waves.
It's waves.
In your hand and everything. And we never die.
What?
You never disappear because you break down and you're always part of the solar system. Everything that we were created from stardust.
Yep.
And everything came on.
It's dust in the wind.
Yeah. That stuff just like, I think that's so cool.
Really?
So when
I want to start learning about this shit now.
Carbon and all that type of stuff, and you're into the soil, and it gets into plants or wherever you're going to be at. Or
so
if
you do become a part of the cosmic energy.
You will always, you will never disintegrate. You're always a part of the universe.
Wow.
That's kind of comforting.
Yeah. It's all those microplastics in us, you know?
Except if you look at this stuff too much, you're going to start asking yourself, well, what constitutes me?
I know. There's a consciousness.
If you cut your arm off, you're still you, right?
Yes.
But slightly different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and where's the arm go? Who knows? So what part of you can you remove and you're no longer...
That's a discussion of the brain.
Yeah.
What is...
Man.
Is that...
I had this crazy epiphany in medical school. This is...
Good night, everybody.
Here we go.
Cool.
This is our lecture right now.
Ask the question.
This is your 45-minute TED Talk.
When you're... Maybe this is what mine would be about, but it is kind of work-related, but it's not. It has nothing to do with practice. But we're learning about like the way nerves function in medical school, and it's basically a bunch of ions or salt particles moving across membranes to generate electrical potential that travels through the brain, right? So like when a neuron fires, salt moves across the membrane, which triggers more salt down the line to move across the membrane, and it generates an electrical potential down that. Think of it as a wire, but it's a neuron. Well, if that's the case, then all we are is a sack of salt moving around. Like you're just a bunch of salt particles. Because if your consciousness and your brain and everything is where you exist and your mind exists, all you are is a bunch of moving salt.
Yeah.
You just salt on one side of a membrane and then it's on the other side.
But where does consciousness come into it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
that
possibly is another dimension that we don't, like fourth dimension may have tied into.
The basis of religion is right within that.
Sure.
I'm not joking. I mean, what creates consciousness? I can't believe we barely even started the show.
What kind of
Somebody's
podcast
probably
is this?
Shaking their phone going, I was wanting to listen to a bunch of stupid assholes talking about bikes. They're talking about collective consciousness and salt sacks.
So you're just one sack of salt right there.
Wow. I had a bunch of people ask me the last couple of days, like, what's Jackson up to? I said, well, he's quit his 5 years of teaching to become an unpaid teacher.
Yep. That's pretty much it. It is probably, I mean, I have loved the job that I did for the past 5 years. previously to what I'm doing now, I was a preschool teaching assistant, and I really liked it for all the years that I did it. But now I'm really excited again. Probably the most excited I've been to go into like a new job situation. Typically I'm nervous, but I'm at the same school I worked at before, I'm doing a job that I've been trying to do for a while now. So it's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
what are you going to give a 45-minute talk on?
I had a couple of ideas, but I think honestly, I could give you a lot of information about fantasy football and the best possible team you could draft with the position you were given in your draft order.
That would be good. I guarantee there would be a very, very passionate group shouting at you like internet haters and stuff like that. But because I'm sure there are so many people out there who think they are the fantasy football experts. There
are a lot of people that really like to say their opinions on players, but I am the type of person that like watches multiple perspectives, gains my own like insight on watching year after year after year, and then like kind of compiles that all together and like trusts their own brain. Because you're right, there are a lot of people, Instagram accounts, for instance, that do this. But Maria had her work draft a couple of weeks ago, and actually last week, and she was talking to me about these players, and I just immediately started just spewing all this information, and I was like, whoa, I don't know where that came from. Yeah. But I went through each and every one of their players, each and every one of like the teams that she was playing against eventually, and I was like, that's a bad team, that's a good team, here's why, and I could have talked for hours. So wow. Give me 45 minutes. Give me 3 hours. I could do it.
Okay. Wow. It's almost like something in your life taught you tactics.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm just glad. I thought he was going to talk about superposition.
Oh.
Superposition?
It's quantum physics.
Oh. Jesus. Wow. I would typically feel bad about myself for not getting a joke, but when it's about quantum physics, I'll brush that one off.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was talking about. I just pretended I knew what he was talking
about.
Cat.
Yeah,
I just laughed at Jackson.
You don't know if it's live or dead in the box. It could be live or dead until you open the box at that moment. But he could be dead or live. That's a superposition.
But if you shake the box and it goes, ow, you know it's alive.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to open the box.
And it could be dead. So
well, if I shook it too hard, I killed the fucking cat.
Where there's one, because the decision hasn't been made. Anyway.
The decision was made. The decision was made the second I decided to shake it.
Jesus.
Third off, he is the master of disappearance. Mr. David Waple. Dude, you've been you're just like, okay, I'm here. I'll be there. And you disappear for like 3 weeks.
Nobody's seen him.
And then
where I've been.
The only thing that happens is my wife says, "Oh, David went hiking this weekend," because she's stalking your social media or something like that. And I'm like, "Oh, Paul's told me he was going to show up on the Saturday ride." "Oh, no, David went hiking." And I'm like, "How do you know that?" He sent pictures.
I didn't send it. It must have been on somebody else's Instagram.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
It's your wife's.
My wife. Okay, yeah. I don't do the socials.
No, you don't. Yeah. Your profile picture, I'm pretty sure, is from like, 10, 12 years ago? Is you holding that fish? You don't even know what it is.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it's probably the fish thing. That's old, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it was like college days.
I'm going to make an account up under your name so people can comment to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll be fun for you.
We used to do one for the... It will be fun. Just people I'd see like bash Dr. David. David, how are you, man? And what is your TED Talk?
Doing very well. See, I feel like it'd be really hard to like actually, because we have to actually be able to do it, right?
No, you could be Paul's not a physicist.
Do we get time to prepare?
No, you have to go out there and talk about it for 45 minutes or they're going to shoot you in the head.
Oh my God, that's really violent.
Welcome to America.
This is fair. I think things I could realistically talk about for 45 minutes outside of medicine, they're all science-based. I think I could talk about quantum theory for a long time.
Uh-huh. Longer than me.
Oh, sure, coffee.
You talk about
I can
coffee.
talk about coffee for sure for 45 minutes, easy. But I think I could easily talk about the last rabbit hole I went down was the manufacturing of microchips, and not the manufacturing process, but the actual printing that they have to. The device that they use to print microchips is the most
crazy,
absolutely insane piece of machinery in the entire world.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars per one to produce one single microchip. The microchip in your phone came from like $1 billion machine and we just toss them around and throw them out when we're done with them, and yeah, crazy.
If ever anybody wondered if roadies were complete nerdy dipshits, Jackson's the only saving grace because he's like football. Man, that's cool. Yeah. You guys are like just dragging us into the stereotype.
I know what yours is going to be about.
What's mine going to be about?
Batman.
It isn't going to be about it.
I'll be darned.
Okay, so there we go. Me, I am the master. I was going to say
Bader.
Nice. I didn't. I am the master of pre-planned procrastination. Think about that one. Because I spent all day today going, holy shit, I got to teach tomorrow.
And that was it?
Then I planned it tomorrow, and I had a colleague say it perfectly to me. And I don't know if this is going to bash the teaching profession, but she said to me, she says, all we got to do is know we're teaching tomorrow. The next day, you check out your lesson plans and you figure it out, and you teach the next thing tomorrow.
That's what curriculum books are for.
Yeah, exactly. I am Pat Bolter, and my lecture would be on why Generation X is the best generation for musical experience. The generations we have lived through, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, are the best generations for decades for music, period, hands down. You guys cannot compete against it. Everything else.
I know we could just get up there and spew bullshit.
Well, it's true. It's a fact. We started in the late 60s and early 70s. Tell me the music then wasn't
which
brilliant.
One is Gen X?
It's my generation.
65 to...
Who's Gen Y?
That's coming up.
Yeah.
I'm actually a
You're
Jones.
A boomer,
but there's a Jones which is like 56 to 60.
So they went X to Z and skipped Y?
Well, they have Gen Alpha right now. There's Gen Z, so kind of me down, and then there's Gen Alpha, who's like...
That's what it is.
But you're not a millennial.
No.
You're too late.
I'm right in the middle.
My kids are millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle between, what is it, Z and millennial.
Millennials are from 1981, is it? No, 80. Maybe it's 85 to 2000 or 99.
I'm a Gemini.
Right after.
I'm Gen X, and we're the forgotten
yeah.
generation. People skip my generation all the
I'm
time.
an Aquarius.
Just like our parents did. You're an Aquarius.
Is that the same thing?
There are two good jokes right in
like
there.
that.
Not even close. But I could talk about why it's best time for music, Generation X. Gentlemen, let's get back to the sport of cycling, although I could have just gone for 90 minutes of just spiraling down random psychotic insanity that we were going with, because that was kind of funny. How's everybody's cycling life? First of all, David, you haven't been here for a while. Have you been riding? Have you been racing? Do you have any races in the future?
Riding, yes. Just, normal amount. Morning or, during the week, 20 or 30 miles if I can. Weekends, 3 hours if I can.
Jeez.
But there's lots of things that have gotten in the way, so it hasn't been as consistent. Racing, not really. Like, there just isn't anything going on. Like, there's not a lot of races going on, but the Walla Walla Grit's coming up, so I'll be doing that. And then there's some cyclocross coming. Cross is coming. So
you can say it now.
Yeah.
You can say it.
I'll be doing that. So unfortunately, our local the grind is not happening.
Yeah.
At Riverside, so that's a bummer. But I'll do whatever races are coming up. But the only thing I know of is the Grit in Walla Walla.
Shit.
Super fun Grit.
When's that
race. Like middle of September, I think. You'd have to ask my wife. Sam might go. He might do the shortest distance with my wife.
What?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. He mentioned it. He was like, I would like to, but don't know if it's going to happen.
Oh my God. We
haven't even gotten outside together yet, so.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackson and Paul, anything to announce?
No, nothing really to announce. I mean,
you were sounding a little disenchanted last week about cycling as a whole.
Well, we rode Saturday.
We did ride Saturday, yeah, and that.
Well, you guys did. I kind of tagged along.
Whatever. It was really good though, because I think I'm done with like putting it together. Putting the bike together. I just want it. I'm like done with the process, and I'm really happy that I'm done with the process now, because Saturday brought the life back into me. And I rode yesterday, and it was awesome, and I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna make it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm I'm happy with it. Feels better.
It's just for fun season, though.
Yeah, it is just
all
for
the rides are for fun.
Yeah.
Do we have anything remotely competitive on the calendar?
No. Last Tuesday morning at 5:30 a.m. Freaking fastest morning ride of all time.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah,
Are you guys doing drugs?
It feels like it. We keep PRing. There's this guy that came back to town, Nate Jacobus, who he brought all of the fire out of everybody on Tuesday. And then this morning...
Why is he just... He
like,
brought the fire out. Is he an asshole? You're like, we got to get rid of this fucking guy.
No, he's just like, he brought the competitive edge back where people were like, hey, yeah, let's all go hard.
Or
and
somebody new.
Yeah, well, I mean, he used to live
You're
here.
showing off for him.
Yeah, he used to live here and
You're flirting.
Yeah, we were all flirting a little bit.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it felt fun.
Yeah.
You know how it kind of like rejuvenates you, makes you feel young again?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Paul?
I got a ride in today.
You did.
And I it was a short one. But tomorrow I'll ride a little longer. I had tomorrow off. I was told that I had to take vacation. And then I have a week. I have, I think, 8 days off next week. So
Jeez.
I'll do that.
Who's making you take vacation? Maybe my
I
boss?
accumulated too much for vacation time.
I wish I had that.
I just checked my vacation time today. I have 47 and a half days.
What?
Of sick time, of time off. Alex,
So that's
accumulated.
That's like
mine's
2
pretty
months.
Yeah.
That's pretty close to me at 275 hours.
Yeah.
So
I had
that's
over
the
300.
maximum.
Yeah, I think it was over 300.
I had almost 200 sick hours when I was done with my job.
And did you get paid for that?
Nope.
But I
Shit,
do
fuck.
have to say,
Yeah.
I saw a Packfiller guy on my ride.
Ooh.
Tim, who showed up when I did my punishment.
Yeah.
We got to get to this guy here.
Yeah.
But he's the one
We do have to
that
get
went
yours.
and watched, not Randy who went up and down, but Tim
Yeah.
was there. So
Oh, really?
he saw me first. He was in his truck pulling out of his driveway. Boom.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
It's
I mean,
nice.
have you
nice
guys
to
got
see
that
Packfillers.
any given point in time where people just randomly go,
Yeah.
hey, and
Yeah.
I'm like, don't look at me. I'm in the grocery store. Okay. I get it occasionally. Yeah, David, we do have to pick your punishment.
You
my
wonder
friend.
why I haven't been here.
Yeah. We're all leaning pretty heavily towards the lotteries.
Leadville and
Leadville and Unbound.
I'm not going to say anything because you guys are going to just try to do what I don't want you to do. So if I tell you I like that idea, you'll change your mind. If I tell you I don't like it,
I
you'll...
still think it would be a good one.
I think that would be a good
whether
one.
you like it or not.
It could be
Would you
no
do the
punishment
200?
at all.
Or would you sign up for the 100?
Or
Of
the
what- of
or the
which one?
350.
No, 350. Come on, nobody. That's
No, that's just insane.
Dumb.
Yeah.
It shouldn't exist.
No.
I mean, it's either this or you get to sign up for a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
So you get to choose that one.
Yeah. I would pay for that one.
Yeah.
I would race Unbound to see you do a body building competition.
Can't do it.
So, okay, I think we're leaning towards that. So you might have to get ready to put your name into 2 lotteries for the same year. Oh my God, the golden zone would be if he had to do both. It would be just holy shit.
They'll probably bring back was it Power Line? Climb?
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't have it this year.
No, they didn't. There was damage there. Yeah, it's a
you
beautiful race. It's a great race. You'd love Leadville. You would love Leadville.
I mean, both of them are on my list, sort of, someday. I don't know if Unbound actually is anymore on my list.
I don't want to
You don't want
destroy my bike.
Giardia or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Giardia, I don't want to wreck my bike, but I would go back to the Midwest. It'd be fun to spend some time in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I am entering back into the world of actually working for a living, and I don't like it. I'm upset about it. It really messes up with my training. But I'm actually still doing this AI coach thing for my preparation. And what I love about it is the flexibility of it. I can say I only have this time window this week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is. And then next week I can say I have this, but on Wednesday I have a little more time, or on this week, and it readjusts and consistently changes the schedule for me. So I'm really I'm looking forward to messing with that a little bit this year. I am considering I'm already thinking about 26, 27. Are you guys?
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting a little cocky, guys. Masters Nats, Tour de Bloom. I want to do the gravel fondos in the spring again. Twilight Series. I want to race the APAC for the whole Twilight Series. I want to be in the APAC. I don't want to be at the front of the APAC. I'm realistic about this. But I want to be in the APAC, and I want to get over to the west side for some one-day races here and there, at least one or two.
The PCR and Seward.
Volunteer Park.
Oh, volunteer.
Things like that, even if it's just a one-day race. So I know I'm going to bail on it. I know I'm going to suck when it comes to it. I'm going to be like,
even if you do half of that, though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just I'm doing Masters Nats. I'm doing Bloom. I'm doing the Fondos. I'm doing the Twilight Series. Those are going to happen. Those are kind of givens, I think. But the ones that aren't are the smaller races getting over to the west side to do some of those races.
Yeah.
Is it because... I mean, have we collectively become too lazy to drive over to drive 4.5 hours for a bike race?
Mm-hmm.
The expense is a little different
Yeah.
than it was when we were racing. The expenses, we used to, drive over there and have back with no seatbelts.
Yeah.
I had a friend who had a Cadillac, and we split the gas, and we get like 8 guys in there, a couple in the trunk, bikes in the trunk, and then on the ceiling, and and then we'd have, because I was the oldest one, one with the credit, I'd get my room, and then people would just come cram in. Guys were all over the floor, everything, get a double room for one guy, and then you get other racers who are like, I'm camping, can I take a shower at your place? Sure.
Yeah.
There'd just be towels all over.
Yeah.
All over the place. It just was. But that's how we did it. I mean, we ran cheap. And
nowadays going over, and I'm sure everybody listening can kind of compare or contrast based upon where they live. Nowadays, it's about, let's say, 250-mile drive for us to get to the West Coast. And to do that and to stay in a hotel, to race a bike race, and to drive home, and food and meals and all that kind of stuff, you're talking a $500 weekend at least. Yeah, that's a lot for one day of a bike race.
Well, you got a hole in your cup? Went pretty fast.
No, some schmutz in the bottom.
Some schmutz. Okay.
East.
Yeah, I do think about it that way. It's tough right now because you can't be spontaneous about it. You have to be so planned out about your entire season, which kind of sucks because I think that a lot of these bike races sometimes bank on spontaneity like that. I mean, that's what bike racers do. They sign up last minute, and it would be kind of fun to just be like, oh man, I just want to go and do this. But it's not that simple anymore, especially now. Not only does it cost a lot, but once you get over to the west side, you hit Tacoma and you're stuck for 3 hours in nonstop in non-moving traffic. So it's like, do you want to go through the pain of it? I mean, I love going over there and racing and experiencing that cycling culture because it's vastly different from what we have over here. But it can sometimes be a bit of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to put it. You can't just kind of drop everything and go, yeah, let's go.
We used to.
Yeah.
But we weren't married, didn't have a mortgage, and had a full-time job. I didn't have any
And
of those
didn't
back
have $500, $700.
No, I mean, entry fees, think about it, was typically $30. I mean, stage races, if they're over 50, that was like in the late 80s. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he's just shared a hotel room. Everybody shared all the cost.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because one of our teammates sent us all a group text about 24 or 48 hours ago talking about a group gathering of people who want to get together to discuss racing in Spokane. And and I know that many of us have lives going on. We had just popped up and we're like, shit, I can't make it, and things like that. David went, beer? But and just to kind of go off of that, I thought I'd jumpstart that conversation. So I want to talk to you guys about the quality of what we're dealing with here, and hopefully everybody listening can kind of assess what their local community's like. You might live in the mecca of bike races. There might be something. You might be a SoCal person who has bike races happening all over the place every weekend. You have multiple choices. You might live someplace else in the world who's going, I've been to 2 bike races my entire life, and maybe you can assess things that are going on with that. And so that's what we're going to go with. So, gentlemen, if you had to give the Spokane area a grade, letter grade, A through F, for the quality of, and I'm not asking about races, this first one's about competition, the riders, the teams, etc. What would you give the current state of our cycling community? And I don't mean necessarily Spokane. I mean kind of Spokane. We're combined with North Idaho a little bit and things like that. Our current community, what kind of a letter grade would you give it? Whoever wants to go first.
Man, I'd give them all an F. They're all mean. They're all slow. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
This is like the place that I have grown into racing. I really enjoy it. So I would, of course, give it an A.
Yeah.
And an A+. We all ride so hard, and we all are very fit. Like when we went over to Tour de Bloom and we raced competitive edge, and I think that we're all willing to go really hard with one another during the racing. And then once it turns off, though, we're all extremely kind to one another, and I think that is something that we might have a leg up on other communities. Okay.
David, you came from multiple different communities. Your San Luis Obispo years, your upbringing years, your things like that, and you've been through multiple cycling communities. How would you give this one a grade compared to those ones in some of the heyday years?
I think it's easily an A. The racing in Spokane was. I used to do better when I would go over to Seattle.
Yeah.
Like versus racing our local races. We've historically always had a small community, but everybody's a hitter. Okay. And on any given day, there's no one person who's going to win. I mean, think about our Twilight Series, how many different people win out there. It's not like one person dominates it. So I think we have a great, small but great community of really competitive people that when you travel, most of them are going to do pretty well. Okay. I mean, most things I go to, I'm easily in the top 10% of number of the finishers. I mean, not podium positions, but big events. Most of us in Spokane can get into the top 10%.
Okay. Paul, I saved you for last intentionally because you and I have been doing this for a long freaking time. We can think about the years that were, we sit here and wax sentimental about years, when you'd have a Twilight Series race with 50 juniors on a Tuesday night. We can think about those years when, before a certain single testicular man came along and fucked everything up for the rest of us in the sport. No, I'm joking. But what would you give this status compared to the which is funny, we were talking about generations before the show started, but the generations prior, what would you give this grade?
Well, I'll give it a grade, but there's caveats. When you get your report card, because they say, there's the other ones like plays well with others. Yeah. That type of thing. There's, that type of it seems to be a good leader. That type of thing.
I got a lot of satisfactories on those.
Satisfactory?
It's okay.
Hey, you met standards. That's all that matters.
I was an S+.
Were you?
Yeah. Satisfactory plus.
Nice.
On those.
Nice.
It was the grade in the work that I got.
Yeah.
Like D's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but I would say, as in quantity, we're pretty thin in Spokane. We don't have.
Are we truly per capita though?
I would say the metropolitan area of just Spokane pushes 500,000 people.
Okay.
So you think about, a Twilight Series when it was a smaller community when we did the Tuesday nights and we had 50 people in A group and stuff, and you had 45 in the B, and the C even had 20 to 30, 30 so it doesn't, but that doesn't mean the quality of the racing and everything has changed. So definitely an A in quality, and even works well with others. I think now we work well with others better than when I started. I hated those Arrive pricks.
Yeah.
They were, I tried to join, and everybody's kind of like, I didn't know shit from Shinola.
Yeah.
And so when I tried, everybody kind of like pushed me away, go away, you Cat 4, Oh, all right. So I was on my own. Yeah, I was unattached for a couple of years and then joined a team called Team Two Wheel, which had a split off from Arrive juniors.
Yeah.
And then they did, I think, 1 year under Team Two Wheel, and then Team Spokane created it.
Yeah.
And then I became a part of Team Spokane. So, we didn't. Even inside, teams, you could see friction.
Yeah.
And you experienced it more than I did because you were on that.
Well, I've experienced that, but I've experienced that, but I've experienced the same friction within the last 2 years here in Spokane.
With your teammates, though?
No, not with my teammates. But 2 years ago, if I would have asked Jackson and or David what they think of other certain teams in this community, you guys would not have been as nice as you have been just now.
Yeah.
I've grown up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That actually is really funny. So I told David this probably a month ago, last time I saw him.
Yeah.
Fair.
But I was like, I initially assume that everybody's a dick until I'm forced to get to know them through Sam and David.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's honestly my own fault that I assume that everybody's terrible. And then I realize through my own faults that maybe I'm the asshole.
I think I put that upon you. I think I did that. That's my
I'm
fault.
the total opposite. Everybody's great until they
You're a dog.
become
Yeah.
You're like,
Golden
hey,
retriever.
want to play? Ow. I would give Current the quality of cycling here in Spokane, and that's after all my years. I would give it, at least a B plus, A minus. I think things are really starting to develop again. I think there are things that have happened especially with road cycling in terms of obviously the numbers have tailed off. I like seeing some of the younger people. I love that we now have a junior program in Spokane. It's those booger guys. That's a great
cool.
program.
Let me tell you what, they're
Fast
making
as
me
fuck,
have to figure
man.
out a different way to win now.
They're strong as hell. What would you give? Okay, let's be a little more brutal. We're gonna probably have to shorten our answers here for the sake of time. The events in Spokane, in the area, the number, the quality, and the participation. What kind of a grade would you give that?
It's gone down.
Yeah.
Yeah. The number of events have gone down since I first started racing. The number of participants, I still think we have.
You can throw in mountain and gravel here if you want
If
to.
you put mountain and gravel in, then we're doing pretty dang good, actually. Again, I'm at 25 races and I haven't raced in a month and a half. So that's a lot of races in a year if you count all of those.
God,
I still think
that changes my perspective, actually, that you're at 25 races.
Yeah. So, if you do all the events, there are races to be done, and there's really good competition, just it's not that deep. I was thinking about this the other day. I think I would squash myself from 9 years ago before med school. I think I'm faster, but the races are so much faster now.
Yeah.
I can't compete. I was more competitive 8 or 9 years ago, and I was slower than I am today.
Guys, we can't answer as long as David just did.
Sorry.
But, no, you're fine. Actually, because it was actually good information, and I didn't stop you. You're not Jack putting his nuts on the bar or something like that.
I think
Jack's going to respond to that.
I don't know if I can really necessarily give it a letter grade, but I enjoy what we have because I think that the prices of things to produce a race have gone way up and have gotten way more challenging.
There's our problem.
For the people putting on, I am speaking from the road aspect. Mm-hmm. Thank you, because it's not easy.
Yeah, without a doubt, the costs and the logistics of putting on races are pretty much a nightmare nowadays. And that certainly does, kill the amount of racing. And that's probably why gravel is so big. They don't even have to pull permits. They're just
it's open roads.
Yeah, it's open roads.
You're supposed to stop at a four-way stop, even though most people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Probably 99.9%.
No, they don't. But
So, that makes it easy in those events. I want them, to continue to grow because that's getting people on bikes.
Mm-hmm.
But as in what I like to do in racing, obviously it's about the only thing that's feasible, but it's still a nightmare to try and organize is a crit like downtown. Not to knock the Raceway Park. I'm grateful for that, but it's nice to have city and you can create that atmosphere, and we see all these races. It would be great to see more of that, in this area. But yeah.
Well, my next questions were going to be what are we needing and what's standing in the way, but it's almost like we've answered that within an extent in itself. What are we needing? We're needing more races in areas that actually cause exposure to grow the sport. What is standing in the way? We can't book areas and races that cause exposure. We're in industrial parks. We're out in the middle of nowhere. We're in on raceway tracks that aren't being used because we need to get out of the way. Because if we do schedule a downtown crit, you are automatically putting yourself into a gamble. You're putting yourself into a financial gamble. You're putting yourself into a relationship gamble with the people who you are getting permits from. Because, Paul, I think you say it best. Businesses are never going to be happy about the street in front of their business being closed, even if it's a successful event, because it's impacting their business in one way or another. So you're at this point where you want to get exposure for the sport, but you're constantly beating up against problems, and you're putting your own. As somebody who wants to put on a race, you're putting time and your own money, and you're gambling on that money, because if nobody shows up for your event, somebody's got to pay the piper. And there are those risks. And so, we want to make cyclists, and when I say cyclists, I primarily mean the roadie scene, want more races. But then you go like, okay, let's make this happen. Let's do this. Let's put on a race. Okay, let's do a meeting on Thursday. Oh, I can't make it. Which we have all just been found guilty of. Mm-hmm. And then when people don't show up, the race, you have one or two guys who put on the race and take it all on themselves. They give up their lives. They probably get a divorce, and they've spent all their money on something, and then 2 weeks before the race is going off, they have 13 people signed up for it. They're now in AFib because they're stressed about the amount of people who are not going to come to their race. The people they promised and the businesses they've promised that we're going to have people out front drinking your beer, those people aren't going to show up, and then you end up with an industrial park crit size audience in a place that's not an industrial park. I know I just went off on a complete rant, and I know I'm supposed to be the guy asking questions, but if you want to jumpstart road cycling in communities, you got a hell of a climb ahead of you. There is not going to be one press a button and everything's fixed, unless I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Please, somebody tell me I'm wrong.
You're not going to get rich.
No.
And that's the thing. You got to do it for the love of the sport. And, I think we're all in a position why, like you mentioned, none of us can go to the meeting that's happening tomorrow. And I'm like, ugh, I couldn't have done it even if I had. Wednesdays are tied up. So that's just a bad day, but I don't expect anybody to move their schedule just because of me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and it was nice that the offer's out there. And I hope this meeting, which is bringing all these teams in this area together to come up with a schedule and help each other out, works. But, just look at the table. We're all, Sam's got a baby on the way.
Yeah.
He's married. You're married.
Yeah.
I'm married. Grandkids, kids and blah, blah, blah. Goes on and on and on. So we, unless I don't want to go through a divorce. So, I have to play my cards right, but I can do whatever I can do.
Yeah.
So.
And it just gets, I keep going back to this. USA Cycling used to force every club to put on an event. They had to. It was a part of your registration as a USAC club. I think it was still USCF, for fuck's sake. And then they stopped that.
When they did that,
races dropped.
Did they provide funds to the teams to do that?
No.
See, this is what's so challenging, though, is that like a governing body that tells us, or used to tell us, put on a race, but you got to figure out how to do it.
They did help with insurance. They did help with
as part of your entry.
Yeah, those types of things. Yeah, so that stuff was covered.
Well, and to be fair,
you could put on a time trial for left-handed people with no right ears, and that could be your event.
And when we started the Tuesday nights, they were basically gravel races. We didn't have permits.
Yeah.
You think about
Are you sure? I think we did.
I don't know, like State Park.
I think it was.
For the state park, but are you
it was
saying
easy to get.
Mount
You
Hope?
didn't have to have 5 lead cars and follow cars.
How about Mount Hope?
I don't know about that one. I wasn't. My family
never
wasn't
did.
involved at that point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of them were kind of, and it didn't. If you had to pull permits or something, there wasn't signage that you had to have in every corner that had every. I mean, that's what when we used to do when Badlands, the local group here that put on road races and crit series. I mean, it's a big thing to do a road race. I mean, just for a Tuesday night, it's an all-day thing, and all the legalities now of having, independently follow cars have to have their own insurance, not based on it's just not going to happen. That's the killer. Mm-hmm. But we were kind of semi-renegade. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You called up Joe from, the state park and said, hey, we're going to do a time trial there. Okay, I'll send you a permit.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That simple.
Now you have like a chain of command, and everybody has the committee to determine whether it's safe or not, and this person's complaint, so we have to deal with. I mean, that's what it's come down to. So,
and I also think too that I think all of this, muck that gets in the way, is a good reason as to why a TNT ride, why those have become so much more popular now, because as long as nobody says this is my ride. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really liable for stuff.
That's what scares me, is when those are going to start getting hit.
Well, so one thing that I took stock of a couple of weeks ago, I went to a local shop ride, and immediately I was handed a form, my name and my phone number, and it was a release form.
Yeah, just
being like, hey, you're taking your this is you taking your own life into your hands here, right? Which to me means that. Either they were just very thorough about it, which could be, or somebody's tried to get them before, which sucks. Because we've even run into this on our TNT ride before. One of our local riders had to be like, hey, I'm not doing this anymore because so-and-so said that I could be held liable for this.
Yeah.
It's like, when did this happen that people were like, I am no longer responsible for myself doing this, and now I'm willing to make you responsible for my own mistake? It feels like that's a good reason.
The moment it became profitable to do so.
And that right there, my friend, is our issue right at the core.
Yeah.
Is that everything is, you're just trying to make money.
Yeah.
It's not people that are in it now are doing it because they love the sport. They're not in it to make money. However, there is one organization that is in it to make money, and that is what's dragging it all down.
Which organization are you speaking?
USAC is just trying to make money.
You could call them out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it depends on. I'd like to see their numbers. I mean, I don't think anybody's getting rich. There was a period there when there was people that were ahead of USAC that had no knowledge of cycling. Mm-hmm. They were trying to run it as a business, and that's when things started falling apart. And they started gobbling up Norba. BMX, they're trying to make this umbrella, and then it's like everything's watered down. It's whatever's making money, that's their focus. We're going to do gravel nationals now.
Yeah.
Because that's where the money is. All the other national events, road, that's dead. We don't even care. We have, we're not going to really work at that. So, anyway, that is the unfortunate thing. I don't know what their budget is. Maybe they have to make X amount of dollars, and that's why they have to push it. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody's really getting fat on at USAC.
Do you go full renegade on this? Do you do what OBRA or ORBA, what OBRA does, and you create your own organization that establishes its own insurance policy, that establishes its own governing body, its own rules, and says we're gonna figure out a way for you guys to put on bike races. We're gonna do it. We've got the insurance. We go through this. We're here to help you. Do you have to go renegade like that? I mean, but USA Cycling doesn't recognize your event. They don't. There are points.
They
used to
events.
Penalize riders to do races that
was the early
races.
Years when they first started establishing, and I think the WSBA looked into doing that too. But that was whenever. God, that must have been in the 90s. Was it 2000s?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
But I joined ORBA just to do they used to have a Gorge Roubaix.
Yeah.
And I still I'm on their email list. They have tons of races.
Yeah.
Tons. A lot of gravel. But the Portland criterium for our age group, which were 40s, 50s, 60s, they had over 50 people.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, not even at Bloom. Was it that big at Bloom?
No.
Yeah.
It was,
40.
Well, yeah, depends on the age group, but, some were
Where I'm talking
7,
about
some
the 50s,
were,
the crit.
yeah, I'd say is 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30, 40. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what they have, their formula works, and there's some people that work hard in that organization. So,
yeah, I think it's a great idea. I just think one thing that's really tough is that people want upgrade points.
Yeah.
People I think about people in our categories, for instance. A lot of them are going into races nowadays to get that one, especially at the level of being like a 2, 3. They want that upgrade, and so when you do these races, I'm speaking mainly road here. They want to do well so they can continuously move up. I mean, that's what's being really pressurized on the younger generation is get up quickly. And then when you do something that's outside of USAC, you don't have that opportunity.
And you notice that a lot of these off-road events, gravel events that don't have to rely upon those restrictions are doing incredibly well, and they're profitable for their organizers. I'm not drawing a conclusion. Well, maybe I am.
Well, I'll give you a little pushback on that because what gravel is now is what Grand Fondos were 10 years ago.
Sure.
Now you can hardly find any Grand Fondos. I mean, they're gravel Grand Fondos.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But road ones, they're used to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And there was even a national championship. There's the one in New York that's still big. I mean, there's some big ones, but
and Levi's event.
Yeah, Levi's event.
Yeah.
So you have those,
which is the biggest road event in this country right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it's a quick fix.
No, it is.
Especially culturally, so I don't know if there's a way to make it happen. What is the ultimate vision for? Let's bring it back down. What is the ultimate vision for you guys that you would imagine? I don't want to say a utopia because I want to think on a realistic platform. What would work in the Spokane regional area, even with reaching out to Wenatchee and Tour de Bloom? Because Tour de Bloom, those guys have figured shit out. Mm-hmm. They got a community behind it. Well, they got one guy spearheading this whole thing and a very large support staff behind it. So, when we talk about what Bloom is doing, everybody looks to Ace, but I know for a fact Ace would look at you in the face and go, I am not doing this alone. Mm-hmm. This is so many more people. But we can look at that. What is the utopian vision of where realistically we can be within our lifetimes, from Jackson's lifetime to Paul and my lifetimes? What would you envision?
So that's
being
like
perfect?
20 years or less.
Yeah. TikTok.
Yeah. I think the perfect, thing would be that a lot of these, bigger race organizers come together. We have Ace, we have Ryan, we have whoever's willing to spearhead something over here, come together and really realize this is like untapped potential over here. I think we've got a unique landscape that the other side of the state doesn't. And for them to come together and maybe try and figure out, possibly bring back what our stage race here used to be, and just get that back. I think that would be something that would be really cool, because if we were able to bring over the numbers that, like, even just a little bigger than what we had here when RC3 was going on, then I think that would be awesome. But it takes a lot of people, and it takes a lot of people power. So I hope that they would be willing to do that, but I get it.
You just put everything into a perfect perspective. And when you said what it used to be, I got even more excited, because in my lifetime, what it used to be was Spokane with the Washington Trust Cycling Classic, which was the hardest stage race in the country. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. We this community and the terrain we have here, I would argue with anybody, is some of the best and varied terrain in the country for racing a road bicycle. And what you said is just, we can offer so much, but it takes a collective agreement. I agree with you. Guys, you got a utopian version? David, wake up.
I wish we just had more turnout. Like when I first started coming at racing in Spokane, big turnouts at Tuesday nights. And I think that supported things like weekend races. We used to have better weekend races. We used to have the Ronde van Palouse, for example, was a great one on the weekends. But our numbers in Spokane, we haven't bolstered the youth scene enough. So there just hasn't been enough youth cycling to fill in the folks that are dying off or whatever.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah. Oh. Well, you're not. You're like one of the only people from when I started racing that still races. I still remember, Paul, from one of my first races, because you looked fast and you had a BMC and I wanted a BMC. And I still remember you were racing, but nobody else that was ahead of me at that point is still racing bikes. Mm-hmm. So you weren't there.
I probably wasn't. No. I was probably dropped already.
Yeah.
Is that do you contribute that to
no youth cycling programs?
Okay.
There was never a youth cycling program in my life. And so I don't know how Sam and I got into it, but there's nobody else that I know from high school that races bikes or enjoys it the way that we do. Now they have this youth cycling program, and we're already getting some of those juniors at races. So our failure was nobody was investing for years in youth cycling, so nobody went into it.
And that's not easy, by the way, youth cycling. That is not I tried to be a junior coach, and that is not a one-person gig. Mm-mm. You have to need and the greatest success of Arrive in the 1980s was parents. Mm-hmm. Parents who showed up, parents who ran registration, parents who volunteered, we had a parent who had more snow fencing to go around the entire surface of the county. And, because he just accumulated it, and he just, I got a place to store it, I'll store it. We'll just keep buying it. And we had that to do an entire crit course. We had Eileen Thompson, who was a legend. She reinvented how registration should be done.
Is she related to?
Yeah. I'm out of a beer, but Roger, yeah.
Yeah.
Eileen reinvented how registration should be done, and and people found out about it, and she went all over the country running people and show them how to do the registration process. The parents have to be involved. It can't be just one person say, I'm going to take your kid and I'm going to coach him while you sit at home and smoke cigarettes and read the paper. It can't be done that way. And so the sport has to grow, and a lot of us douchebags who just want to ride our bikes have to give up our time. So anyway, sorry. Paul, was there an eye in the sky?
Yeah, I think there's a potential. I think David kind of hit developing a junior program and an interest in that. And I was hoping, that cyclocross, there's some people that cross over, and we know quite a few people.
Mountain bike too.
Yeah, mountain bike. That program for high schoolers in junior high was created by an old teammate who has a bike shop over in Montana now. And that was, he got it. That program is around. He just kind of got it started here in Spokane, and it's still going, I believe, isn't it? Yeah. So those are the things that are positive. But I think that in order for it to grow in Spokane in my lifetime, we're going to have to start small and do that well. And I mentioned this many times. I think downtown Spokane, when 2013, we had a one and done, unfortunately, course down there, and I was warming up. I had my family members that saw me race back in the 80s and 90s hadn't seen me race for a while. They came down and they're like, I can't wait till next year. That type of thing. And friends from my wife's work at Deaconess Hospital, they came down and they thought, this is great, I can't wait till next year. I was warming up on my rollers, and this couple walking by with their kids just stopped and watched, and they're, what's going on here? And I explained to them and stuff. I thought, this is neat. I didn't even hear anything about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, does this happen all the time? And I said, well, hopefully every year. Well, it didn't.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I think that's where we have to start. I think in order for something to succeed like that, I think it's going to be positioned in a calendar where it's not conflicting with other ones. I'd like to expand, like, if I was in control, one downtown crit, then come up with a second
next
day,
year,
like,
yeah,
or 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
We just got to get our feet. And if you hear people like, gosh, I wish you had another day, bam, we're on it.
Yeah.
But you got to get that one event just nailed down. You got to get the community behind it. You got to get the businesses, and that's why Twilight crits are so good, because most businesses are shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The smaller categories, you're running off half-hour crits before it starts getting dark.
Yeah.
And it's close to closing time. But that's, I think, the perspective that should be done, and then expand, and hopefully do like Ryan has 3 days would be great. And Tulsa Tough, if you look at that as an example, that started off small. It's massive.
Yeah.
They get Europeans over there in racing, and they have, it's everybody knows about Tulsa Tough.
And it becomes something. Spokane is very famous for a certain running event called Bloomsday. Bloomsday was not originally intended as a gigantic, massive group, people cheering, people watching, people making a day of it event. That's how you start. You just start with saying, you asking the city, hey, can we run a race through your city?
For an example on that, I think there was under 3,000 people in the first year. The largest they ever had was 55,000.
Yeah.
So, and it was at the time, I don't know if it still is, the largest timed running event. So
in the world. Yeah.
And I think too, with something like that as well, is that if you run, say, a series of crits, and I think that's why I see so much like opportunity and potential in something like EPO, is that when it's just that, it's self-contained, right? So the city knows where you are, but it's not taking up the whole city, right? You're not having to have 30 cars plus 80 riders in between those 30 cars going through a road race. It's maybe 4 blocks, right? Maybe a little bit more than that, but I think that's one thing that's great about this concept, is that it all stays within itself really well.
That's going to bring me to kind of a news segment here, and that's why I'm playing the news lead in, because what it takes us to is the larger picture. I'm going to be that guy who's going, well, let's pull out to 20,000 feet and look at this from a higher realm. Because in case you guys didn't know, recently about the unfortunate death of Finley Tarling, Visma Lease bike team boss Richard Plugge has called for major action from the UCI. He suggested that if racing 200 kilometers over public roads is no longer feasible, the sport must transition to riding laps on closed circuits to guarantee riders' safety. This is World Tour racing now that we're talking about, that is running into these situations, transitioning from A to B, point to point races, to now all of a sudden everything being reduced to a circuit concept. He says we might need to abandon this idea. Would this destroy the geographical appeal of the sport?
Make it really hard to go just like do what we did last year, just to camp on the side of the road and enjoy an event.
Yeah.
Big traveling party through France. It's not gonna that destroys that. I think you completely wreck the culture of Grand Tours. There's no way around it.
I just don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't.
No.
I mean, we can look at classics, we can look at Flanders Fields, and we can look at things like that, which is within, in essence, a contained area. That classic, the Flanders Fields races.
Yeah, that's a hard one to compare because Belgium stops for bikes. I mean,
this
not
is
saying
true.
that they're
Yeah.
but that culture is so. When it comes to Grand Tours and stuff, the big push to do those is create tourism. That's where their money is, and think about with your travel, you guys, the money you spent. That's going to be hard on a closed circuit.
Yep. So,
but I can see like smaller ones, like you have San Sebastian. The problem was with Tarling was that was Tour Portugal, and it was they just didn't have the resources, and I guess that's part of having a small. Portugal wants tourism. They're trying to do this, And even on a local race where you're looking at, I don't have enough volunteers. Well, this road is just tees into here and there's not much traffic. I've had to lead that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have anybody to flag down people. Even though they stop, you still need to have somebody there.
Yeah.
So I think circuit racing probably, and some of those, you know, semi-classics maybe would, but that's not where the issue is. It's the Grand Tours or the
You
big
can't
tours,
Grand Tour Alpe d'Huez. Yeah, I mean, circuit race Alpe d'Huez.
You would, like David said, you would kill it.
I think that's just an overly dramatic response. I mean, I don't know, look at football. CTE, they start discovering that people are getting CTE. They don't just make it a touch sport.
Yeah.
Right? You make the technology safer. You change the rules. You're never going to get rid of risk. Somebody's going to die on a circuit race.
Yeah.
Like somebody's going to find a way to get into a crash and die in a circuit race too.
Yeah.
So I think they can.
Not to belittle the death of Henry Tarling, of
not
course.
to belittle it at
yeah.
all. But I don't think that. I think that it's just they're going to have to make it safer. Unfortunately, they're going to have to figure out ways.
There are 2 kids in Tennessee, I believe it was, that died this week. And it
training ride.
It was a training ride.
Yeah.
And so
college riders.
Yeah, this is a dangerous sport. It really is, and that's a risk we do have to take. I don't say that flippantly, but as I get older too, that's some of my choices in a race. It's not worth it. You know, when in my 20s, I'd see a gap, and it's like, I sure hope it stays open because I'm going through.
Sorry for the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do that anymore.
Am I the only flippant one that leaves for, not flippant, the only paranoid one that in the back of his mind before I leave for every ride thinks,
this could be it.
Hope I come home.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I can't leave unless my wife says, okay, goodbye, have fun, be safe, I love you, goodbye. She has to say that to me in that order. I will stand in her office until she looks at me and she says it. I don't know why. I feel that's like my protective shield before I leave. I'm going out. I'm not going out to play 18 fucking holes and drink too much beer and smoke a cigar. I'm just going out for a bike ride. Mm-hmm. And it should be the same as going out and playing 18 holes of golf. I should be able to come home safe. And this enrages me. But anyway, is our sport changing because of this? It scares me. I don't know. The other story I did have was also in terms of the Vuelta, Stage 4, the Chaos. Chaos Stage 4. Stage 4 is today. Tadej did a 50K attack, and I'll get into that one here in a second. But Stage 3 was wiped from the record because of the massive hailstorm, 15K from the finish line. Peloton was forced to wait out the storm in a hotel lobby, denying riders crucial climbing opportunities and applying a rare full cancellation rule. So it annulling a stage due to weather elements. We are seeing this a lot more happening. Stages being canceled. Are we at the point now where we have to have weather protocols intact, that there is an alternative course and an alternative option because days are being canceled? People Finnish cities are paying massive amounts to have their riders come through those days. Are we going to have to rethink how that shit happens just because of our climate issues?
I mean, I think that riders have never been too miffed about a big hailstorm and they can't ride the rest of the race. I mean, they were all pretty happy about it. Even Tadej commented on it and said that they were fine with it. I mean, financial, I don't know anything about that. Of course, it's probably some sort of loss, but I mean, the Vuelta probably had to pay some sort of something to get their race finished there, and then they can't, but they're still going to make a lot of money because like broadcasting.
The communities have to pay. Yeah, the communities have to pay.
Okay, well, either way, somebody probably made money off of it. But I think they prioritized the rider safety, which I think was a really big positive at this, because I know that the Giro has gotten a lot of flack in the past for just being like, oh, we'll just like shorten it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then all the riders are like, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. So I think they've saved themselves the embarrassment of riders coming out and saying something about how unsafe it was.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else have anything else? No, you don't have to. I mean, if you're like,
well, I think organizers now,
we're all going to burn. So, fuck it.
Well, I think organizers will have, they probably are putting like an alternative what if this happens, or weather front, especially you're going through the mountains. You got to have prepare this could be shortened,
Yeah.
because there's report that and we'll end it here. So, and with nowadays with communication, I was thinking back in the day, Andy Hampston's
Thank you.
situation
I was
over
say
at
Andy
the
Hampson's on line one
Yeah.
going, come on, guys.
Yeah, but still, it's like that probably wouldn't have happened even back then if we had radios.
Yeah.
The communication, people are sprawled out all over. And Bernardino and LBL started with, 175 riders or 78. And then I think only 30 finished. And
Is that what it was? Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
In a snowstorm, on 23C tires.
Yeah.
So,
and that started the problem with his knees.
Yep.
His knees were
and he has Renaud's because of that too.
Yeah.
So.
People were just built different back then.
Badass. Yeah, exactly.
It didn't get paid either.
Yeah. I before I get to my last story, gentlemen, is the Vuelta over?
I think it was kind of over before it even started.
Yeah. Warlocks proved that.
What do we have? What do we have to look forward to? Are we now shifting to Felix Gall, Sepp Kuss, Richard Carapaz giving us the fireworks we want for a podium position? And we just watch Tadej attack every day from 50K out.
He won't do it every day.
You know,
he's going to comfort zone. He's got to taper back, I'm sure.
For the Worlds.
Yeah, he's got Worlds coming up. He's probably, now he can pick, he's got his buffer. He can pick the stages he wants to win, you know. He just likes racing his bikes. I have to say about his comment about his attack early. And he's, you know, you think he's just like, oh, I'll just drop everybody. That wasn't his decision.
Yeah.
He was planned on going to the end, but he lost all his teammates were gone, and he was isolated, and he thought, I can't have these guys gain up on me, which was an intelligent thought.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that makes it interesting. And I enjoy it because I'm watching history. I'll never in my lifetime see anybody like this. There's no way.
Yeah. I very much agree
It's just
with you.
great. And I think Wout and Mads are going to be knocking it when it comes to the flatter stages. So it'll be great.
And I think something that was interesting, too, when I watched the attack go off today was that it wasn't his normal attack. I mean, maybe he knew he didn't have to give that normal attack, but he slowly wound it up. I mean, Felix Gall was able to follow it until he locked in on a pace. That nobody could hold. And that was something that was interesting. He knew his competition, but he knew his situation too. So this guy is, I mean, it's not just his strength; it's his brains too.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, newly released comments recently, my last one, are talking about, from documentary footage, talking about the Jumbo Visma riders claiming that the tour was specifically designed for Tadej Pogačar, and those, you know, we saw this in Unchained, we saw this in things like that, where this documentary footage is revealing these behind-the-scenes elements. Do you think that the tour organizers are leaning towards, or these Grand Tour riders are leaning towards a specific rider when they design their courses year by year? There used to be years where I remember they specifically, for example, designed a course that would not cater to Voldemort. They wanted somebody else to win, and they would design those. Do you guys think that's a true case?
My first question is, did he still win them? Even when they weren't designed for him?
He did.
First of all, don't publish that.
Yeah,
Like, just don't put that out there, because then you're going to look bad. Like, that's
sour
not
grapes.
Yeah, that's not a good press. And people say there's no such thing as bad press, but that's bad.
But that's what I'm saying. These documentarians are catching this footage, these people speaking off the cuff, speaking emotionally, and it's getting released into the film.
Then you got to know. You're a professional. You got to know when the cameras are on. And then also, if you're going to complain about it, then you have to train for those elements. You have to be ready for those specific moments that are supposedly for him.
Yeah.
Do you
have to be better.
That they could have designed it for anybody else to win?
No.
Then
Who's going to win it
it's all
either
a
way?
moot
Sure,
point.
it
It's
could
all
have
a
made
stupid
could have made
moot
it
point.
pan flat, and Mads Pedersen could have won.
Okay, that's fair, but it'd be a little boring.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's
you
just
know that's not gonna
he was
happen.
going to win the same way that Voldemort won. Like, he was going to win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's just those are, you know, not based in truth, probably, those claims.
But there is truth to sometimes designing a course to get somebody in. Like this Vuelta started in Monaco, which is Tadej's hometown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they put things out there every once in a while, but it's not like the whole course. Okay, hey, Toddy, would you like to climb Alpe d'Huez this week? I mean, they're not doing any of that. And I think that's a spit in the course designers. Designing a course is not easy. I mean, you're guessing on who the players are, but you want a balanced where the true rider who can time trial, the one that can climb, the one that can make it in crosswinds. There's so many different things and elements in road cycling. You can't design something that's perfect for one person. It's ridiculous.
I think too that them complaining and them saying that something was designed for him shows, though, the dominance and, Paul, you said it earlier, history that we are witnessing right now. Mm-hmm. You're going to get so upset that you're being beaten time after time after time by a rider that is otherworldly.
Yeah.
To me, just shows us that we are in a pretty special time.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're going to get to the point now where teams, we have not ever had a UAE-based documentary crew? Probably quite intentionally. Do you think we're going to get to the point where teams are going to go, nope, we've been bitten too many times. We don't want that footage out there. No more documentaries. We're not going to get any behind-the-scenes stuff anymore.
Yeah, it could.
I mean, if you were the team director, if you had a team director and a guy with a film crew wanted to come onto your bus, what would you say?
Well, for us knuckleheads?
Oh, God, I'd say, yeah, just get ready. It
kidding?
Smells.
Yeah.
You're
going to lose your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Put plastic over the lens.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. So a lot going on there, things like that. I don't think we've solved the status of pro or regional cycling. Hopefully we walked away with a little optimism, maybe in some cases, maybe. No?
Yeah.
We're fucked, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, well, screw it. Where are we going? Oh, we're going to segments. David, did you get your segment idea? You want to go in there? Okay, you never talk to me anymore. I just don't. I don't hear shit from you anymore.
If you come join the clinic, you can my chart me. I respond pretty quick that way.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not a patient.
Are you accepting patients?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I got a prostate the size of a golf ball.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Right on. Let's get to changing times with Paul Main, because he always gets to go first because, it always leads us off.
Age before beauty.
Age before beauty is never satisfied for Paul tonight. What you got for us?
Well, I've been reading A Piper's Tale, which is about Alan Piper's life.
Oh.
I think Chris Sidwell is helped probably edit and do it, but it's his words. And one of the things that there's a lot I learned about Alan Piper, I admired. I have a tendency to like people who are not the top notch, somebody I can relate to. He was a strong rider, extremely strong, and his road to racing in Europe was, he did it in his teens, and just bad home life, and decided I'm getting the hell out of here. And so I mean he struggled and in some bad situations, but I liked his mentality. I don't this. He said, even when I win, I'm not totally satisfied. I did the right thing. and I thought about that, and the few times that I've won, even the times where I knew and everything was clicking, I still look back and think, I could have done that better.
Oh my gosh!
Because there's always a section in a race that you can, and that's not that I don't. It doesn't take away the happiness I have from the victory, but it's like. It's always a learning lesson, and I've always looked at cycling is you're constantly learning. Even when you do well, there's a spot where you could have done better. And one incident was the first time I won Ronde Palouse. We got a 5-man breakaway. The 5th guy overlapped a wheel, crashed in an echelon and into the ditch. And then the 4 of us just powered away, and I kept thinking this is a good time to attack, but I was just kind of hesitant. And it was one of those days where you feel like you can't do anything wrong. You put
yeah.
I felt so good and so on. And I waited for the last 200 meters, and I just lit it up, and I thought I could have attacked, like, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers out the way I felt, and that would have been a better way to win, to me, because it's more glorious. You know what I mean? It's the way, and it's like I feel like I could still race. That just seems like. So anyway, I like that, and I like the idea that even in training, where I'll look back and thought, you know what, there's always an adjustment period. I could have done better on, like, even our Saturday's ride. I was just so excited to be on the bike. Went a little harder for somebody who hadn't ridden for 2 weeks. And at 63 years old, then it didn't do so well. And so it just started coming unhinged. I was dehydrated, but outside of that, there's something that you can always do better.
Trader Joe's chicken.
Yeah.
You know what? I this is a horrible thing because we're a show about cycling, and you compare that to cycling, and the first thing I thought of immediately was, I'm the guy, I love cooking, and so I'll prepare a meal, and the first thing I'll do when I sit down with everybody is I'll find something I did wrong with the meal. And Jackson's looked at me 100 times and like, oh, dude, just enjoy it. This is good. Don't quit insulting it. I'm like, I'm not insulting it. I'm not saying I suck. I'm saying, God, I just could have done that a little better. Because if you ever perfect something,
then what?
Then why keep going?
You're done.
Then why keep going? Yeah. I like that. All right, David.
Yes.
This is an interesting one tonight for Ask the Outdoor David. I've been hearing situations of people dealing with longer-term bodily changes that didn't happen before, due to their experience with COVID. I've heard of allergies that have been developed. I've heard of asthma. I spoke to somebody today who said after COVID they developed asthma. Smell, obviously the smell and taste issues. Have you experienced through your vast studies any long-term personal changes from patients, from tales, from stats you might have read of that have come from COVID that changed who we are, our makeup, that even could affect cycling as a whole?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of potential long-term side effects. I mean, you'll hear about long COVID, which is a diagnosis of exclusion with ongoing fatigue and shortness of breath. Long after the initial infection, you'll hear about the people that lose their taste, sense of smell, or part of their taste, and doesn't come back for a long time or ever. I think that the idea is that the immune response, or the immunogenicity of the virus itself, is what causes a lot of problems, both short term and long term. So it's for somebody to develop asthma after a respiratory infection from COVID is certainly possible. It's also possible from other viruses, and whether or not it ever subsides, it's really hard to know. And I don't think there's no one test you can do that would say, like, oh, you have the positive lab test that indicates that this started because of COVID. Okay. It's all a lot of temporally associated symptoms showing up after illness. So you do have to also look at everything with the caveat of, if you give everybody in the country in 1 year a viral illness and then look for things that changed afterwards, whether or not everybody had the illness, there will be new diagnoses that year. Sure. If that makes sense. So, if 1 in 10 people are this is totally made up stats, but if 1 in 10 people are diagnosed with, asthma, that's a really high rate. I don't know why I picked that. 1 in 100 people are diagnosed with asthma a year, and in that year, 20 bajillion people got COVID. There's a really high chance that a lot of those people are going to have that diagnosis right after their infection, whether or not they had it or not. So it's very difficult to definitively tie these things to the infection, but we definitely see things like myocarditis, inflammation of the heart, that could absolutely affect your performance on a bicycle if your heart is not functioning. Allergies would be just, again, from this immune response, and the longevity of these responses isn't, I don't think anybody could tell you for sure whether or not it's going to be something you deal with until you die, or if it's going to be years or weeks. But in general, this is why not getting the disease in the first place is the best strategy. So doing whatever you can to avoid getting sick is definitely better than taking your chances with the outcomes.
So basically what you're saying is number one, we need a couple more massive outbreaks of this disease to really gain the statistics to find out what's going on. So we need to spread the disease again.
Correct. One more pandemic would be great.
One more pandemic. Okay. And then the second one is what you're saying is I never would have had any of these issues if I wouldn't have been around the person who gave me COVID.
Wonderful. You know what?
Which is, I believe that person's in this room in this moment.
Oh, was it me?
Yeah, it was you. You gave it to us all in Wenatchee last year.
Was that your first time? Oh, yeah. It's like your seventh time.
Nope.
Don't blame me.
First
time. You know what? All I'm happy about, to be honest with you, is
I
that
had it 3 times.
All I'm happy about is that you're blaming me for giving you COVID and that giving you all. At least you're not blaming the microchips in the vaccine,
No, God, no. No, those are fine. My cell service is through the roof, man.
The 5G is off the charts.
Jesus,
now, so.
I don't have to pay for internet here at the house.
But the beauty is you go shopping somewhere and then the algorithm is just filled with all that.
Absolutely.
It's the chip.
It knows what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Things start to vibrate around you that are metal.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hoping to go full Magneto here.
Right. Right.
Okay. No, I
think by and large, most healthy people who do the right things are going to recover very well from the disease, especially when you're young. Quick caveat, when you're old, you don't want to get sick. The older you get, the less you recover. And so this is why it becomes even more important to just not get sick, because when you go down as you get older, you don't fully bounce back. Or if you do, it takes a long time.
I know that.
And then if
preaching to the choir.
Thanks, man.
If you're off.
Thanks a lot.
I don't mean to be looking at both you guys in the eyes, but I'm thinking of my older patients. But anyways.
Well, that would be me.
Older than you. You're still pediatric.
Earlier when I asked you if you have any openings for patients, I take it back. I take it back. Let's cool down, shall we? Yes, we should cool down. By the way, for those of you wanting trivia tonight, we're not going to do it tonight. So we're not going to subject you guys to are you smarter than a Spanish 8th graders? Because you guys I think would have been a little depressed going out of it. We'll hold on to those types of things. Jackson, what do you got for us in the cool down tonight?
So I have really loved my own coffee machine lately. I'm really barking up Main Street right now.
You are.
I have.
What are you using?
Well, I have our Breville.
Oh yeah.
But I make things in multiple ways. So I have our Nespresso milk frother, which is a very convenient.
One of the best values out there right now. You pour the milk into it, you hit the button.
And you can cold froth too, which is awesome.
Oh.
You can if you hold down.
Don't even know how that works.
What?
That's got to be some quantum shit, right?
That is
it's next level.
Superposition
of cold.
Is the milk cold until you taste it?
Yeah.
It's hot or cold. You don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I have that, and then I also have our fellow kettle, which is a very nice addition in case you want to do a Americano.
Kettle.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It really is.
It's the gooseneck one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's awesome. And it's nice because you just barely tip it and it pours.
Yep.
It's awesome.
You're talking my language.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like...
Yeah.
We're all getting chubby.
I feel like a sexual tension in the room right now.
You stopped at the chubby.
V60.
Yeah. What temperature is your milk?
Yeah.
But I have figured out there are multiple ways I like to have my coffee in the morning. And so
It's beautiful.
I
keep going.
say if it's before a ride and you get to choose how you're making your own thing.
Oh.
What are you doing? So for me, it depends on the day, but I will just say I have been really enjoying an Americano. That's what I like to do.
Okay.
Before, like every single day.
Double shot out of the machine. Do you take the hot water directly out of the Breville, or do you heat up the water somewhere else?
It's from the fellow kettle.
It's from the fellow kettle.
You said the kettle again.
Yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
Oh.
It adds to the experience.
It does. It does. Well, and it also it's like it heats up the water like that.
Yeah.
Like
Like
to
it
the
is.
desired temperature. Coming out of the brew
Exactly,
boiler
right.
is usually too hot.
Yeah. So you can do like whatever temperature, and then it holds it too.
Well,
For a
and when
certain
it comes
amount of
out
time.
the spout, it naturally stirs too.
You're right. It like the
See?
whole thing like.
See how we got to
Christ, I need to get my fellow kettle back out. I think it's in my RV right now.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
touched
awesome.
it.
Oh, can
You
I
have-
have it?
No. Now I'm too excited now.
Yeah, should be.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's what I do.
shit.
And then I'll add, a little creamer to cut the acidity. But
Okay.
yeah, that's what I like to do before really every day, every single day. Paul, what do you like to do?
Well, I have two forms. My wife has her own, and I won't touch
French press.
it. French press, and then stovetop. There's a certain way you can do.
Violetti?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
So I've kind of perfected it a little bit. Sometimes it's off.
Or
I have
mocha
to
pot?
adjust
What do
it.
you...
It's just a small little two shot.
It's a Violetti.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but it's,
Nice.
But it depends on the grind. Sometimes it's not. It doesn't come out.
Yeah,
that
it's
well,
very
so,
finicky.
Yeah. So that's the other one. If before a ride, I'll have. I usually have in the morning my French press, but I want a machine, but that's not in the books for a while. I have a place to pay off first before I can
Sure.
grant myself
Makes
that.
sense.
But if I go to, if it's early in the morning, I'll go and get a cappuccino where we meet for coffee there at First Ave. Or sometimes I'll just get, a doppio and double straight shot. So,
Okay.
Oh my God, David.
How much time do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I made this question and I was like, I really just made it to hear what you had to say.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of variables, obviously. Aside from grind size, brew temperature, the duration of your shot pulling, all that. A lot of other variables.
total extraction.
Yeah, all of that.
Oh my God.
Variable number one is what time I'm waking up for the ride. Because if it's like this morning going for a morning ride, it's 100% an espresso, a doppio.
Mhm.
Just a double espresso shot. Try to even get in a second one if I can before I leave. And if it's like I'm riding with you guys at 11. Sorry.
It's 10 o'clock.
All right, whatever.
It was 9 last week.
It
Yeah.
was.
I saw that. I was like, holy crap, they're going early.
Right?
Yeah.
If I'm starting at 9 with you guys, I'm going to enjoy a drip coffee, probably from we have that fellow pot that I got from Paul, or we also we have two batch brewers that we choose between because they do make different coffee. Or in that case I would make an Americano, and if I'm meeting you guys at a coffee shop, it's going to either be a doppio or not Americano, cappuccino. And if I meet you at a coffee shop to start the ride, it's either doppio or cappuccino. But everything's going to be either straight black coffee or with 2 or 4 ounces of milk.
Wow.
Because cortado or cappuccino.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been heavily. I have a lot of coffee brewing equipment around this house. I have a Revel. There's this La Pavoni that's here just more as a prop on the set. That my wife and I bought that a long time ago, and we used to use it. That was our first like high end espresso machine in the house, and that was a fun one to use. No, Francis, not La Pavoni. And we kind of got into that, and we bought the Breville, and we use the Breville all the time. My wife uses it every day. We did switch to the dark side, and we were going espresso for a long time just for the sheer simplicity of it. It makes a pretty good little good Polish coffee, but the cost is ridiculous.
It's
Wild. It's a little soulless.
And the it is Mick coffee.
Scratches the itch, but like,
yeah.
you want to keep going.
Yeah, but I have been very heavily leaning on my Technivorn Mocha Master brewer, which I very much like, and I've been using that. I have also a fellow drip maker, but it's in my camper. I use it in the RV, believe it or not. I have a very high-end camper coffee drip brewer. I don't necessarily like I don't like the temperature of that coffee. I like the Technivorn's coffee. It's a little hotter. I like a hot cup of coffee from drip.
You know that the Aiden, you can
You can
adjust
adjust
the
the
temperature.
temperature.
I know. It doesn't stay hot enough in that thermos. I like a warming
You have
plate.
the heated plate on the
Yeah, I
bottom.
like
of
the
your
warming
Techniform.
plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what
Scorched earth in your mouth. I get it.
Yeah.
Second crack, scorched earth.
No, it's not. I'm not drinking second crack. But what I also do very much like the Breville. But I very rarely do a latte. I most commonly do either a double shot with maybe on ice with a little bit of milk or something like that, or I'll do a straight double, or I'll do drip, or I'll do an Americano. I like to taste my coffee. My students laugh at me because if they ever go to Starbucks and they ask me what I want, I've had students buy me coffee before. Usually around the time I'm casting plays. Really weird.
Interesting.
But I'll get an 8-ounce latte.
Double short, not fat latte.
Double short, non-fat, 8-ounce. And they call it a baby coffee because they're like, Mr. Pat, they make bigger cups. I'm like, yeah, but I can't taste the coffee in that bullshit. I don't want to drown it out in milk. I want to taste a good cup of coffee. So, yeah, it's, it's almost an integral part of the culture, this coffee snobbery, and how much we all like to have our own styles, and how much I guess it comes with the bike racing. We spend too much money on bikes. We spend too much money on coffee.
You can say the same with beer and wine.
Yeah.
All those,
I felt very true to myself buying a fancy espresso machine. I was like, this is what I'm going for.
I think we were in the green room when you said what you just recently bought. Could you repeat that machine for me?
It was an ECM Technica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what you threw down on it, or do you want to keep that private?
It's all Googleable.
Yeah.
I didn't get a deal or anything. It's a $3,400 machine. It's not it's not the craziest. Like, you can easily spend $7,000 to $10,000 on a home machine.
That's the thing about this, though, is that you can go pretty wild.
But it's a lifetime machine.
It is.
Yeah.
This one is a lifetime machine. So
And repairable.
very repairable, very serviceable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, that was fun because
that was where you want to go with
that's
it.
all.
Okay.
That's all. Because it was it's very person to person.
It's addicting. Yeah, it is.
Everybody has their own thing.
And you assholes keep giving me shit on coffee roasts and stuff like that. I name one person in this room who has roasted coffee for 7 years. This guy.
So
guy.
that makes
Assholes.
it right? What
Yes,
you did was
it
right?
makes it
Gotcha.
right. It makes I know more than you guys do. It's
You
like
ever seen
I'm
that?
the winemaker in the room. Trust me.
You ever seen that Dr. Death thing where the guy, he was a neurosurgeon for 7 years?
Yeah. Good point. Right there. Stick that in your pipe and
Doesn't mean he was
smoke
a
it.
good one.
Yeah, I got nothing. I really have nothing, and I don't even have a final question, final K this week, just because I just kind of wanted to end it with that because I knew that we were going to go long, and we did go long. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend, and definitely check out our website for articles. Well, there are a lot of articles, and I need some of these assholes in this room to write me some. Bike shop stuff, and a full backlog of our audio and video content. And I promise, part 3 of the Gruppetto and the Da Vinci time trial bike is coming this fall. I need you guys to help me with that one, especially now that I have a faster comparison bike to compare it with. And finally, let's just take a vote right now. What's David's punishment, gentlemen? Jackson?
I mean, I think it's probably going to be him entering into the
lotteries?
The lotteries.
Okay, lotteries.
Lottery.
Paul, Pat, lotteries. Yeah. David, I'm sure your brother would say lotteries.
I think he'd probably want me to do the bodybuilding.
Well,
No, I think he liked the idea.
I think he did like the lotteries. So,
Yeah.
David, you have to sign up for Unbound and Leadville lotteries.
Oh, sorry, let me put my headphones on. I didn't quite hear that. Well,
No, you heard it. You heard it. You heard it here first. Gentlemen, thanks for another week. Thanks for another show.
Thank you.
And we will catch everybody.